think you can get cream across the street?
No, don't do that.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
It is
Oh my God, look
Super
at us. It's 12:01.
Tuesday. We are on fire. 12:01.
Yes.
Usually when we say a time, it's like
10
minutes.
15.
10 minutes is good.
10 minutes is good.
10 minutes is good. So while we get some people to get on, if we get any people to get on,
right.
It's the middle of the day.
I know.
Yesterday show went really good. I thought.
Yes. For sure.
And yesterday was an interesting day because by the time the afternoon had set in, we had almost like a full agenda today.
I know.
Like when the day started, we were like, I wonder what tomorrow's gonna bring.
Yeah, I think the last few days have been a little bit like scattered. Oh, let's mute that. Scattered and all over the place in a lot of ways. And we desperately wanted to go back to a busy and full schedule. And literally by the end of the day yesterday, we had that already set up for not just today, but for literally the rest of the week and all the weeks to come.
That was awesome.
We have our new normal schedule. Do you guys have your new normal schedule?
So let me grab some water.
I know, that's what I did too.
So before we went on, Bree was ordering Uber Eats, which is not something that we do.
Ever.
I know a lot of people.
Yeah, people might be like, what's the big deal?
Right. I've just never been a order food kind of person. Like I could just go get it.
Yeah, same. I don't want to wait. Like, how long is this going to take?
Right. So by the time you order, they put the order in, the person picks it up, they bring it.
Not to mention, it's super annoying to order online. We were just doing it, and it's like everything is extra. Like the 4 pumps of classic that I get, the pumps of syrup are 60 cents each.
You're kidding.
No. And
we could have just driven to Starbucks.
I know. I don't know why I shouldn't say anything before. There's no way to customize like cream on the side.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking mission.
It's a mess. Like, you know, but we did start talking. And this morning when we were out for our morning coffee, like, the streets are so empty.
It's a ghost town out there compared to what it normally is.
Right. The streets are so empty, but it was good to be able to go to the place where I get coffee, get my coffee. Then we went to Starbucks, went to the drive-thru, she got hers. Mm-hmm. And then one of the most interesting things so far is when we went to get our vitamins, the place that we get our vitamins, first we called to make sure that they were open. Yeah. So once they confirmed that they were open, they called us back and said, I don't know, they said don't come in?
He's like, we are open, but you have to place the order over the phone and then we'll come out and bring it to you. Like, we're open, but you can't come inside the store.
Right. So I called right back. I ordered the vitamins that we needed, and they brought them to the car. How freaking cool is that?
So cool.
Like,
but even before that, we had an awesome class this morning.
Yes. So yesterday, over the weekend, we had a Zoom meeting with our team, right? With our contest prep team. And when we were doing the contest prep team, it's like, you know, it's so easy to just talk to everybody at once. Yeah. Why don't we do... Because at first I had thought about doing like a Facebook Live. You know,
workout.
Right. But the challenge with doing a Facebook Live workout is that I can't see...
Right. The challenge with a live in any way, shape, or form for any situation is that it's very one way. Like, people can comment, but you can't really interact. Right. And the Zoom is great because everyone's in a room together.
Right, because when you do posing online, but you do FaceTime.
Right, so FaceTime you see both, but FaceTime is only with one person. Right?
So when we did the Zoom meeting, I said this is going to be, if this works out for everyone, this will be a great opportunity to host a class, right?
Totally.
So yesterday in the afternoon, I sent out an email to everybody and said, let's have a meeting on Zoom and let me explain what we're going to do and see how it goes. Yeah. And realistically, we're a little bit nervous about how many people would show up.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if people are really going to show up to this.
And at 6:30, like, the lines got lit up and people just kept showing up. It was super cool.
Look at that.
It was great to see all of you. And we decided that we were going to do 2 live classes.
Yes.
Right?
Every day.
Every day, Monday to Friday.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday only one.
Right. So this morning was our first go around or test run for a live workout. Yes. And we had 7 or 8 people that came in and worked out. And honestly, Nothing is really different for me in terms of how I give instructions.
Yeah, he was still doing it the same
I
way.
Gave instructions the same way.
We came into the gym, we turned on the radio, we turned on our timer so that
set,
felt
so
like
it felt
you're
like,
still here.
Right. So on the other side, everybody was at home. They could listen to the same mix that we play
during the classes.
Exactly, during the classes. But you let Richard in.
Oh, snap.
We played the same mix that we played during the classes. Mm-hmm. We delivered the workout the same way, and then everybody just did it at home. But we timed it exactly the same way.
Yes, we did.
We delivered everything exactly the same way. Everything was exactly the same, except everybody was home.
Yes.
I thought it was super cool.
It was cool.
I thought it flowed great. Mm-hmm. This afternoon we'll have another class.
Yes.
And then, we're going to do it every day.
So back to how we even started talking about this. Hi, Richard. So we started with the streets being empty this morning.
Yes.
And everything just being super convenient.
Yes.
Even though it's a ghost town out there. Followed by a really cool new way of teaching a class and interacting with people. Mm-hmm. Followed by, let's just get Starbucks delivered. I was followed by our vitamins that we just waited in the car and they brought it to us. I looked at him and I was like, I could get used to this. I do love human interaction. I do love getting together. And at first it was kind of weird, but I'll be honest, this is not that bad. It's so convenient right now. Everything is so, I don't know,
even the other day when we went to Chipotle, they hadn't closed the restaurants yet. It was just us eating there, and people were coming in and out. And I'm always one, when we go to Chipotle, I'm like, we should probably order ahead of time.
Yeah.
Just kind of pick it up. And it seems so convenient at the moment, but I always like to go get my food fresh.
Yeah.
But right now, it really seems very practical and time-saving to just order ahead of time, go somewhere, get your stuff,
and even bounce. that concept of saving time at a time where we have so much more time. Are you kidding me? There's even more time when you're saving all that time. Hi, Julie. How's it going?
So it really just seems...
I don't know. How are you guys? Tell us. How are you feeling about this new norm in terms of convenience and not being crowded with people everywhere? You're not in the camera. You should come closer.
It's that I lean to the other side.
I know. Let's see. What type of equipment do we need to work out from home?
Honestly, you don't need anything. This morning's workout was all body weight. And if you have stuff, we can incorporate it. Yeah. What I did this morning is one of the moves, I told everybody to grab a weight or something, but you don't really need anything. Mm-hmm. We went through an entire workout with nothing required.
We said yesterday, you'd be surprised what you can do with body weight.
I'll give you an example. So we still have people that are prepping for a show, right? Mm-hmm. And their gyms are closed, depending on where they're at. And I sent them a week's worth of training, and every day is different, and no equipment yet. We just have to plan accordingly. So, we just got to do it like that.
Richard says, pumped, but waiting for the day we can return. I totally hear you. I think it's I don't know that I would take this new norm or this new world 24/7 forever. Right. I do like it in bits and pieces.
What I was thinking during the workout was I could, we could Zoom a class.
Yeah.
So people could be here.
We could have a class and Zoom a class.
Right. I could have, maybe the phone and the laptop on one side while I'm giving instructions for the class, and we do it both ways.
Cool. That way, if someone misses a class or if someone's not local.
Right. Yeah. The only challenge would be if we're using things here like a BOSU or a strap or
maybe bands. We do a Zoom class only.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll play by ear. But either way, we are kind of digging the new stuff a little bit.
Yeah. You have to, you guys. You can't just fight it and hate it and be against it. You have to, one way or another, find a way to dig it, as you said.
And with that, one of the things that we talked about yesterday that we were going to talk about today was the kids. So
the kids.
The children.
Everyone is dealing with that.
So we started unschooling the kids a while back.
Can we talk about what that is for a second? I don't think everyone's familiar with unschooling. I think people are very familiar with homeschooling.
So homeschooling follows the
same curriculum.
The same curriculum that the school has. So I took Brie out of school last year around this time. So she's been home for a year. And when we enrolled her in homeschooling, she was basically going to have the same curriculum. So she had to be by her laptop or the computer, pretty much the same schedule. And that is not what we wanted. And over the course of time, one of my biggest concerns with Bree was that Bree was really good at test taking, right? She would ace a test. She would, memorize whatever she needed to memorize. But then some of the practical skills were not there, So what happened, like I would always ask her, it's like, all right, so once you take the test, and then once you get an A, like, what do you do with that information? Like, the information just wasn't sticking. And there's always been so much emphasis on these tests, but not some of the practical stuff. Like, how do you go get a job?
Right.
How do you put together a resume? How do you open a bank account?
So you have a really smart, dumb kid, really. Not like against her, just in general. Like you have someone with a lot of knowledge, but no knowledge.
So I always had a lot of question marks. And then last year we took, we decided to, while we were trying to figure out what we were going to do with Junior, we took the leap and said, I'm going to take her out. She's only got 1 year left. And it doesn't really seem like this is serving her. And while I still have control over it, right, before she turned 18 last week or the week before, I just want to have as much influence as I can. So I decided to just take some more action. And with, unschooling is a popular term if you look it up. And basically it's like taking it under your own, I guess taking the education that you want to give your kids under your control.
Yes.
And not following anything traditional or normal, right?
Right.
So we kind of teach the things that we want to teach or work on the things that we want to work on. Obviously, there's certain things that are essential, reading and writing and arithmetics. But
we focus on the things that aside from the basics.
Right, like we
take everything every day to teach.
Right.
Not just specific moments, specific amount of time, sit here for this long, do this specifically. It's a much more, I guess in a lot of ways, kind of how we do our diets and it's a very customized,
it's a lot more flexible,
hands-on approach.
Right. So anyway,
but life.
What I was getting at yesterday, if you watch the show, I'm not going to go into this whole.
Yeah, that's probably another episode.
Right. Is that, has it been a week already?
Probably a little longer.
I think it's been about a week. So about a week ago.
So wait, before you go. So Richard says, I agree. Zuma class for those that can't make it. Julie says, although I hate the reason, I'm truly enjoying simply having time. My regular everyday is hectic and time is never on my side. Having time change is nice. Also having to spend too with myself and having time for me has been great. I totally agree with that.
Time for us is great.
Time is everything. Sorry, I had to read it on my phone because I can't really see it there.
All right, so
a week ago,
Junior asked why he couldn't curse, or why he couldn't curse all the time.
And for those of you who know us, I curse a lot.
I don't.
He doesn't. I do. It's really not on purpose. It's just part of my vocabulary. I don't curse at people. I just curse inside of myself.
It's the way she expresses herself.
Yeah.
It's normal. Right?
It's normal. So, in our house, it's normal.
So Junior hears it, and
all the time.
And of course, like any kid, he's dying to say everything. And he asked, he asked nicely.
Yeah.
Can I curse or why can't I curse? And she said, without thinking about it, go ahead.
That's not how it went. I said, you can curse under 2 conditions. What did he say? Trucker. You can curse as long as it's only at home, because I do not need to be that mom in Publix getting judged. And if you're not directing the curse word at anybody. And I explained what that meant, meaning you can't call your sister or us or anything a specific name. You could use it in a sentence about something or to express yourself. We can't call someone a curse word. So he said, okay.
So he said, okay. And then within 5 minutes, he tested it. He said, can I say the B word? Can I say the F word? Can I say it? And then little by little, it came out. And within 10 minutes, the barrage of profanity coming out of his mouth was intense.
I like having options. I can't make it to the gym. I like to have option B. I prefer going to the gym. I hear you. Oh my God. Not bringing my kid over. Nancy will get mad, but she curses way worse than me. I know. It was all, here's the thing. And I'll tell you how I reasoned that out. And that's how we do a lot of things. I grew up with, you can't curse because you're a lady and whatever. And then I just would curse all the time. And then he would curse and he would get in trouble. And I'm like, that's not really fair. I understand that, there's a line and I'm older and I'm the parent, but I'm like, he hears it all the time. So he at the very least has to understand how it can or can't be used. And for me, with parenting, a lot of times how I reason things in my mind is I feel like all of us are so conditioned to act a certain way because that's how we were brought up. So anytime that, like, a lot of these things are so automatic. Like, help me if I'm not making sense here, but it's like, you can't do this. Like, why the hell not? Like, no one questions anything.
I question everything.
You just do it because your parents said you do it that way. You do it because I said so. You do it because I'm your parent. Wait a minute. Like, it doesn't really work like that, right?
I question everything. And again, we can get into that.
Right. And to me, it's like, this is another human. Like, I'm not entitled to love or respect because I'm his parent. I am here to do the best that I can to make him be a good person and to show him the world around us, right? So a lot of times we parent in a way that we were parented, when 99% of the time the way we were parented is pretty flawed, and we are different people than our parents, so we might want to do things differently. Right. So for me, I didn't want to just be like, well, you can't curse because you're a kid. Like, it was one of those things that I just spit out because that's what I always heard. And like a lot of other things, I wanted to break that cycle and be like, wait a minute, like, let me think about this. Like, what is really the harm in him being able to say a bad word at home, not directed to anybody? Really none. So fucking go for it. Like, that's really how that went.
So now he's cursing all the time. All the time. He sings. They
watch TikTok, so he curses from the TikTok.
All the time.
Last night we were playing Uno. It was so funny.
Oh, yeah. Last night we were playing Uno, and the night before we played Uno, and Junior won 3 games in a row. But last night he lost. What did
I don't know if he's like, oh shit, or oh fuck. And he feels so good saying it.
It's the cutest thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is
I want to hear your thoughts.
That is our Junior cursing and parenting. And listen,
and he doesn't do it in public. He doesn't do it around other kids.
He's very
at the gym
cautious
or anywhere.
Yeah. And we'll have other shows where we can talk more about it and want to get into it today.
We can go on for days about parenting. We can go on
for days. Yeah. I question everything. I question fitness. I question dieting. I question everything.
Yeah.
I am just not. I've never been one to just say okay.
And not to go against stuff. Not to be difficult. Just to be like, how can I make up my own mind about X, Y, Z? You know, how can I reason this out and be like, does it work for me? Does it not work for me in any aspect?
I'll give you a great example. Like yesterday, I was talking about the group classes. Like the way that I teach is really different than a lot of other places, right? And the reason that came about is because everybody was kind of doing things the same way, and I always said, why do we have to just do it this way? Like, why can't you do it one way or the other? And then the more time I spent doing this, the more I saw that the way they reason things out in fitness is they'll run, like, let's say a study with a group of people. Like, let's say they take 20 people and they'll run a 20 person 6-week or 8-week program, and then they'll collect the data. They'll take away the stuff that's abnormal, and then they'll take whatever the middle is and say, this is the way that worked. Realistically, like, that's 20 people, like, you know, and it is not gospel. So I started. And
these are 20 different people. We're all different people.
So I started questioning everything and decided to do it my way. And little by little, we're not the only people that do push-ups and squats. So little by little, you start to see trends and people putting things together, like you reason it out. And right now we have our own style, our own philosophy. It's you know, not that I want to compare, but if you've ever watched Bruce Lee's story, like the way he did martial arts, like he just did it his way. Like he took a little bit, like he says, you know, you take what works and get rid of what doesn't work. And that's kind of been, not because of that, but because of that. But that's kind of been my approach to the way that we do our dieting and our training. You take what works, you get rid of what doesn't, and you just, you know, kind of hybrid everything. A little like mixed martial arts approach to fitness and dieting. And
that's a really good point, because I feel like there's so much magic in that, in taking your personality and taking the way that you think and taking the way that you want to do things and doing it that way and putting that out. We're all different and we all have so much to offer. And I feel like a lot of times people hold themselves back, not to steer too far, but because it's been done, right? Like how people are doing push-ups and squats or running boot camps, running gyms. It's being able to put your magic into it that makes it amazing. Yeah. So even if a lot of things have been done, like back to parenting, people have been parenting for how many hundreds of years. Doesn't mean that the way most people parent is the way to parent, or because everyone goes to school, that's the way to do it. Doesn't mean you can't kind of challenge the norm or challenge what everyone does and how they do it or how you've always seen it done, and kind of make up your own mind, right? Because we're always evolving. Exactly.
That's it. So we want to make sure that we always take a little bit of time, even though this show is not about like working out and hey Jen.
Hey Jen.
Even though this show is not just about working out, I mean that is what we do. Yeah. So we always want to make sure that we take time to at least talk a little bit about fitness, you know,
and nutrition,
because that's our jam. That's our jam. One of the most important things that I don't see being addressed. I always
rant alert.
Boom. In my opinion, right? One of the things that I don't see being addressed overall is taking the time to build up your immune system.
That's a good one. And now I bet everyone's going to jump on that bandwagon.
Right. There's a lot of BS being tried. People are
This is a time where all the scammers are making money.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage of everything that's going on.
I will tell you, as a general rule, what happened?
I want to take this down. If I take it down, will we
not? No, just leave it like that.
Okay, perfect.
Leave it like that. That's fine. As a general rule, there's a lot of, make sure you're social distancing, make sure that you're not close to people, make sure that you wash your hands. But no one's talked about building your immune system. Yes. And honestly, like, we've been talking about it forever, right? Like, eat your food, drink your water, take your vitamins. Like, basics. I think that like any other time, preventing things from happening is always better than trying to fix them once they do.
Yeah.
So with that said, making sure that you stay active is going to build your immune system. That's why we are hosting workouts, sending workouts. Making sure that you stay on top of your eating. Don't start eating a bunch of junk because you're home and you're bored. Because you're going to put a bunch of junk in. Make sure you're putting good things in. Make sure that you stay hydrated.
Isn't it interesting how the basics are so difficult?
Listen,
like, the world is being told they have to wash their hands. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, did you not learn that when you were 4? Like, does everybody not wash their hands all? Because I wash my hands all the time. Like, I don't understand.
But
the basics are not so basic.
I think that like anything else. Listen, we have a space. We get to talk to you guys. So let's take a moment and say, work on building your immune system. Not just now. But always, yes. I will, you know what? We can talk about this on another show. Okay. But I will talk about, I promise, I will divulge all of the things that I am doing to make sure I live past 120. I will talk about my sleep rituals. I will talk about my ergonomic beats. I will talk about
you guys don't even know.
all the brainwave stuff.
I live with this man.
All the brainwave stuff that I do. Extending my telomeres.
He's not kidding.
Right. So I'll talk about all that stuff on another show.
Who wants to hear about all his madness? But I don't do any of that shit, and I do not plan on living to 120.
I'm gonna live a long time.
Fucking good. It's a new concept.
A long time.
Yeah.
But anyway, with all of that said, it's not going to go away. Make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Yes. And you know what? Like you always say, the health and fitness always gets lost. You say that all the time.
I say it all the time.
Everyone comes through these doors. Everyone rings to our phone. Everyone reaches out because they want to look better. And that's great. Believe me, I'm all for it. Looking better is my jam. Like I thrive trying to accomplish that. But there's nothing that compares to feeling good. Is that most people don't realize how good they're supposed to feel, how good they can feel.
You know how long I've been saying that?
I know.
Most people don't realize how good you are supposed to feel. It is crazy.
It's insane. And once you start to feel that, you're like, holy shit, like I feel really good.
It's like an anomaly.
Yeah. Like,
I'm like, yeah.
And I'm like, I want to feel like this all the time. And then I'll like go like 3 days later and eat a bunch of shit I'm not supposed to, and I start all over again. But I think that back and forth for me in the past few months has showed me how good the good is.
Right.
Because you have to have something to compare it to. But you have to do it consistently enough to feel good and be like, and notice the shift.
So we are going to take, I guess, doing a daily show and talk about things like, extending your life, which I honestly don't get a chance to talk about during a class. People come in and they come in and
Well,
work
that
out.
was why we even started the show.
That is why we started the show.
We don't have time to chat.
We don't have time to chat with everybody, and there is not room sometimes to start talking about other things.
Yeah.
And realistically, in a 5 or 10 minute conversation about, did you eat your food today? Are you on track with your goal? Blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever we may be talking about, there's not a lot of room to talk about, hey, you know, do you want to enhance the quality of your sleep? Do you want to sleep better?
Yeah.
Which is going to enhance so many other things down the road. I won't go on a tangent. Another day.
We'll get to it.
I was
going to say, we are going to attempt to do this show every day at 3 p.m.
Right.
That's the attempt, just so you guys know.
Not Tuesdays.
But Tuesdays, it's going to have to be at
noon.
Like 12.
Right.
So Tuesdays at 12.
She has a posing session.
Yeah, at 3 p.m. every Tuesday.
So, and
Tuesdays
it's Lais and the coach, so the coach can't come on by himself.
I mean, you could. If you want to talk about all the sleep stuff, you could.
Ooh, how cool would that be? We could just...
But, so 3 p.m. every day, 12 p.m. on Tuesdays. The weekend, we'll see how it rolls and plays.
Yeah, maybe on the weekend we could do something different. On the road.
On the road to where? Everything is closed.
On the road to see what's...
On the road to nowhere. Yeah, so that's that. Just because I did want to give, like, I don't want to randomly come on whenever. Because, like, yesterday we had a lot more people tune in the afternoon. And I know that anyone can watch the replay. Right. But I think if we give people a time, then they can also plan. If they plan on being here and they can plan ahead. What did Richard say? Take out Taco Tuesdays. Yes, take out Taco Tuesdays.
Take out Taco Tuesdays. Hashtag baby, I love it.
Are we going to have tacos today?
So here's yesterday I saw that Dr. Limon closed here in Miami Lakes,
so
and we were gonna order from them on Friday.
Yeah.
But we were on a call.
Yeah.
We were on another call on Friday.
Yeah, we were on a Zoom call with the WBFF, and he's got the menu open, and I'm like trying to pick what I want.
Right, and by the time we figured out, okay, let's call, they were closed already.
Yeah.
So,
we're closing at like 6.
But now they're closed. Mm-hmm. All right. So for all of you that can, order some food from whatever local restaurant.
Support your local business.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't want to see everyone take a huge hit.
We went to our coffee place. I go there every morning.
Hopefully not forever, Jen.
I go there and get my coffee multiple times a day.
Yeah, he basically funds a few people's salaries at Casa Ana.
And listen, it's one of those things that I'm very happy that has not been interrupted in my routine.
Yeah, morning coffee.
My morning coffee.
Afternoon coffee.
Afternoon coffee. Well, yesterday's coffee was good.
Stop.
I think we're going to go to Bread Man.
Do not do that to me.
That's going to be very cool. Because they're open.
They are open.
So.
I was reading the comments, sorry.
Okay, so with that said, if you can, order some food. And if you are one of my people and you want to include that in your plan, let me know. Yeah. You can put anything in your plan.
Yeah.
And you can work out twice a day now with us.
Hell yeah, and then that means extra food.
Extra food.
Extra calories burned means extra calories
and you know what? How about we talk about that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Because for you guys that have MyFitnessPal, for you guys that track your workouts, and I think this is going to be a good segue to close, for you guys that track everything, a lot of times how to log your food and how to set up MyFitnessPal isn't clear. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know the difference between calories burned and calories left. Like, do you have to be, should that be at 0? Should you leave something there? There's always a lot of questions about how that is set up and what happens on a day where you work out more than you normally do. So maybe tomorrow could be more of a fitness type show where we talk about that.
Food and how cool would it be now that we do have 2 options to work out? If people work out twice a day and they can earn themselves a treat or a fun meal, it's such a possibility.
So
and now not only is everyone excited about that, but we can support local businesses too.
Yeah, so maybe tomorrow we talk about that.
Yeah.
I think maybe we start there.
What do you guys think?
Unless something else comes up.
And unless you guys have other ideas, we say it all the time. Let us know what you want to talk about, what you want to hear about. I'm an open book. Like, he is too, but he's like a little bit more quiet sometimes. Like, anything that you guys have in mind that you want to talk about or that you want us to talk about. Spit it out. Yes, I will. I am happy to talk
But make sure you share the show.
Yes.
We are here. We are on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud.
We would love to have lots of people tune in and chat back and forth with us.
Yeah.
Let's see. Thank you. Richard said great show. Jen says she's going to take you up on that. I'm assuming it's about food. Take out tacos. So we are going to take out tacos later from...
Let's see what's open.
What about, what's that place right there?
Which one? Maguayos?
No, the other one. That's a good one, if they're open.
Yeah. Have you been to Maguayos in Miami Lakes? If you're in Miami Lakes?
The other one, the big one. The one in the Anthony's Plaza.
Oh, Cancun Grill?
Yes.
Cancun Grill.
Yes.
We've never been to Cancun Grill.
But Maguayos
Let's start now. Yeah.
is a small family-owned place, so if they're open, we should.
But I like Take Out Taco Tuesday. Huh?
Take Out Taco Tuesday. Who's gonna take out Taco Tuesday and send us pictures? Hashtag.
Hashtag it
Who's
up.
having tacos tonight? Oh, I'm excited.
Hashtag
All right,
it up.
we gotta go work out.
All right, guys. That's it. We gotta eat first.
Yes.
We gotta eat first. We're gonna work out and keep the day going.
Yes. Let's see.
Margaritas.
Goes to First Watch. Yeah, across the street from First Watch.
Yeah, we love that place.
By the gas station, exactly behind it.
That place is the
it's
bomb.
Awesome. Is it Maguayos or Maguayas?
Not sure, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, it is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call and see if they're open, and I'm gonna put it on the comments.
How cool would it be if they had a killer day today? Like,
let's all go. Let's all go at the same time.
no, but like that would be super cool. Like, if we sent a bunch of business their way.
That'd be fun.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
I'm gonna post it on our.
I'm gonna post here if they're open.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
Boom.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk tomorrow.